Welcome to episode 2. Is it friend or is it foe? Let me know. We got Joe Budden basically talking about Drake, right? And the UMG contract. Let's basically hear what Joe Budden said.
All of the myths surrounding Drake's mega deal, right?
I know what you're talking about.
I think it's Z.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What is he saying?
I don't know because I'm trained enough to not listen to nothing he says.
Okay.
But what he's saying with every time one of the Drake deal rumors comes up, actually I did say one. I'm sorry. One last time, Drake signed a licensing deal with UMG. He controls the creative direction of his music and when he releases it, but he can't drop music outside the deal. The agreement is exclusive until the term ends. This is standard for all licensing deals. So he keeps popping up to say, hey, all that shit y'all keep saying about Drake is a myth. I want to let the audience and anybody listening know that that is one of the biggest myths that the music industry is pushing upon naive and ignorant people today, that a licensing deal means freedom. Listen to Joe Budden, even if you don't trust me. It does not. That is not, a licensing deal does not mean you have freedom to do whatever. Actually, it means the exact opposite.
Now, everything he said was on the money in terms of the fact that people might think Drake is free based off of the deals that he has, and that's the way he be thinking, the way he be rapping, all that stuff, right? But if you look at the fact that he just dropped 100 gigabytes worth of clips or songs and 3 new songs and all that stuff, you notice how right after he dropped it, it got pulled down, and then he had to release it on all streaming platforms. Well, that's because Lucy & Grange is trying to make his money back. You know, when you give somebody when you front someone, you know what I'm saying? You want your money back in the back end. Because Drake always rap about basically saying that he gonna hit a billy. Like he signed a LeBron James deal to where in the middle of playing, he's signing almost $500 million for basically a lifetime contract in there. But I believe it's gonna be over. I don't know if he did a $400 million deal for 20 years. We don't know how long his contract is, but we do know that every time he drops, it has to drop accordingly to his contract, and he can't get anything passed unless it goes to the UMG. The licenses and everything has to be controlled by the actual Lucy & Grange. He has to profit most of it, because I gave you, if he said the 360 upfront bar is a real bar, he gave him $360 million upfront, or $400+ million upfront. That's a lot of money to give you up front. So for Drake to play this like plot twist moves on Instagram and do all of this stuff, it's kind of child's play, because it's not really helping Lucy & Grange in the back end, because it's kind of messing up his money. It's kind of messing up his branding, because everything Drake is supposed to do is supposed to make his rich baby daddy money. So if you're not making the rich baby daddy money, now you're going to be getting whippings and lashes and all of this stuff. So I feel like Lucy & Grange is highly upset with Drake based off of the fact that he released 100 gigabytes worth of stuff that they could have probably monetized and made money off of to help. But maybe Drake is mad at Lucian. We don't know, because Drake moving to Texas is very interesting, because we know he wanted to get behind Jay Prince. Now, Jay Prince is a mob boss, or I consider him a mob boss. I don't know. He just seems like you can't mess with him at all. So because of that type of energy and because his dominance, you know, he has protection. I believe Drake has protection with that name behind him. Once you say that name, it's like powerful. So I feel like he's playing the game smart in terms of who he's connected himself with, but in terms of music, he's not doing well. That's Drake. Drake isn't doing well in terms of music. Everything when he drops is now not going number 1, is not going number 5 or 10. Like, you know, usually when he drops with Lotto, you would think back 2, 5, 6 years ago, that would have probably been a top 5 song. But right now, it's like, it just charted at 85 or something. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about in terms of that power has gone away. People like academics know that, but they want to try to say, oh no, it's not really that serious. It's not really that serious. And that it's pretty serious, because Lucy & Grange ain't going to be making that money. So what's going to happen with Drake? Is he, because some of the stuff in his contracts, I'm pretty sure there's certain stuff that's going to mess it up and going to have to make Drake owe him more or interested or whatever. So I really do think that the Party Next Door and Drake album is like almost the last thing that he could possibly do to get his name back on track or make some type of money for Lucy & Grange. To me, Honestly, this is just like my thoughts and how I'm thinking. It's almost like this is my white flag, the last album I could possibly drop. If I can't drop this and it go crazy, I think I'm done. Like, I will have to be forced to retire. I probably might have to go bankrupt, or I might have to basically go overseas and hide, or stay in Houston and hide with Jay Prince and them, and gonna have to make Lucien Grange come get his money back in blood, because ain't no way he gonna hit 400 million to 500 million or maybe $1 billion worth of money to Lucien Grange, if you know what I'm saying, because they have to, it's the contracts, we don't know the contracts. I'm saying, how much money does he have to curate for him, right? So I feel like Joe Budden hitting on the money, bro. It's something that you can't hide. Like, it's not something that it's something that's up there in the front and everybody knows it in terms of the contracts. Like, it's out there, but the regular fan base are not aware of it. So if the regular fan bases are not aware of it, who's gonna talk about it? You know what I'm saying? So that's the point. So the next topic we have, y'all, is Tyler, the Creator. You know what I'm saying? He really said everything perfectly about Ian, because the Ian character is the biggest culture vulture, culture appropriation to the max. It's like, imagine going from like just the regular Post Malone culture appropriation to just someone just not even trying to culture appropriate and still culture. We're not trying in terms of like their rapping style. I'm talking about how they look. Like, they didn't even care. They just put default white man and was like, here, let's put all this vocal effects and make it sound like Playboy Cardi, Gucci Mane, and all that stuff. Let's hear what Tyler, the Creator, had to say first.
It's some kid right now, it's white kid, regular like Caucasian man, and he's like mocking Future and Gucci Mane like rap music. And like, people are like, this shit hard. It's not even like satire. It's like, I'm just joking, I'm just mocking it. But I'm like, no, you can't do. And I hold rap music so close to my heart, because this shit changed my life and everyone's life around me. And I'm a nerd about this shit. This is like weird. And I'm looking at it, and something about it like don't even sit well with me in comparison to someone like a Mac Miller or Eminem, who it didn't seem like they was mocking it. They had a genuine love for it, and they were still just being, aside from when Eminem was wearing do-rags in like 2006. Also, I seen this show called, I think, Painkillers on Netflix. Has anyone seen that show?
Yeah.
Really good show. And it's about like how people got addicted to opioids in like the 90s or whatever. And I saw that show, and Eminem put out this album called Recovery. It's 2010. I was a big Eminem fan, and when that album came out, I fucking hated it. Hated it. Publicly was like, this shit is whack. Didn't like it. And after watching that show, dude, I felt so bad.
Because the album made sense.
I felt so bad about those tweets and things like that, because thinking from his perspective, someone like me publicly saying that stuff, and him getting off drugs and being clean and getting to a point in his life that's behind him, and me implying like, you need to, no, this shit is whack. He probably felt like I was attacking him. I thought I was just like, I don't like the music. He was
right. You take a Caucasian white man, you put him in situations to where now he's mimicking these characters, a chameleon-like characters. I feel like right off of the Drake topic, this is the perfect segue, because look at this. This is the definition of cultural appropriation, and this is what that Drake product has brought into the world to me. It really made it more dominant in terms of, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. That type of mentality, right? It's like when people started seeing Steph Curry shoot threes, it's like, all right, if Steph Curry can do it, hey, now everybody who think they just regular, everybody's shooting threes now. It don't even matter. Just change the whole game, because it's like, wow, if he could do it, I can do it type mentality. So that's just the analogy, right? But for me, the Ian situation is like basically someone who don't care about black people at all, but know that they're going to appropriate them, and doesn't care because for some reason they're going to protect him, right? So like, it's like almost like a psychological, it's like a Uno reverse card. It's because to me, it's like, you want to hide something in plain sight, just do it in plain sight. Like, make it the obvious, and he's still going to profit. Because you know why I said all of this, y'all? Because look at the numbers he's gotten. Look at the traction he's gotten. Look at the times that we keep talking about his name, his SEO, all marketing is marketing, whether it's bad or good. We're constantly talking about this Ian guy, Ian, oh my God, Tyler the Creator fan base is mostly what the Ian guy look like. It's always either the I don't want to say goofy, but like, it's like, it's so hard to explain. You know a Tyler the Creator fan when you see one, because they have their own personality, but they're all kind of like him. But they can all be either fair or like white. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. But now it's way more diverse, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if you look at the optics, we all know based off the conversations or locker room talk or gym talk, we always talk about Tyler the Creator fans as being like the Ians. So it's like he saw Tyler the Creator and was like, oh, I like Tyler the Creator. Let me go do something with Playboy Cardi. Let me go try to pretend to be Lil Yachty or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And not to just pin it on Tyler the Creator, because I feel like he's 100% right. If you're not authentic, if your heart is not in it, why are you doing music? That's another clip that he was talking about. Like, people's heart is not in music, bro. People are just creating it just for the money. People's love is not in it. And that Ian guy, his heart is in it. It is not in it. He just knew that, all right, if I do this, I can make this amount of money. And then when I'm finished around getting the popularity I need, I'm going to go be a bank teller in the world famous bank teller, whatever. I'm going to go do country music like Post Malone did. Post Malone came in singing White Iverson. And then right after a couple years later, or a decade later, because I believe that was like, 2016, 15, 17, around that time. And now, if we look at the present day, 2024, he's literally riding horses. And we're like, wait, what? Wait, you're a country artist now? So where did your black best friend come? Like, where did he go? Like, all of the imagery that they had in front of our faces to like manipulate us is so wild that we just let this happen and we just kind of just go along the board. You know what I'm saying? But people like Tyler the Creator kind of smacks us in the face, because this is someone who you might think, oh, that's his fan base. Why is he talking about them? No, like, hey, we can't hit the messenger. We just have to look at the message. He is 100% right about every single thing that he said about it. Mac Miller, I separate him from Eminem, because Eminem, he kind of does that. Anybody who have an N-word tape or anything that has like, if there's anything that can be used against you to make you seem like you are even a racist, bro, I don't even want to have that conversation. Mac Miller has always been authentic, and there's literally no stories about Mac Miller ever doing anything super racist and stuff like that. He's always been himself. So that's the perfect example of a white person that just comes and make music. Like, it's not about trying to be someone different. His heart was in it. His love was in it. Rest in peace him, because I feel like he was one of, if not the most authentic white artist of all time in terms of hip hop rapper. I feel like he was just 100% him. He was not trying to be nobody, I swear. So that's how I seen it. So when it comes to Tyler the Creator breaking that down and giving us his 2 cents on it, I feel like he hit it on the money. But I also feel like some people's going to obviously be upset at him, because it can be almost hypocritical because of his fan base and what he attracts and what he has done to make it to that level with all of his, comedy skits and, all of the, I used to look at Tyler the Creator as the super duper weird dude, like growing up, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he matured and evolved, and artistically he got way better. So like right present day Tyler the Creator is fire to me. But like growing up, it was like, whoa, why is he eating bugs? Like, that type of stuff. It's like, what? But that's where it's to each his own, you know what I'm saying? And then when you talk about like Drake texting Cenat.
What?
Drake just asked us, he just texted me and said, what's the objective of this game? How do you even beat it? He literally said it.
Tell Drake is that you gotta put damn near 100 hours of nonstop. But where's the part?
Now, right off of the situation when we talking about Ian cultural appropriation, you have Drake in a situation, right? Because all of this has to kind of do with Drake when it comes to friend or foe, right? Because now you go in a situation where now you're talking to them about Minecraft. You're trying to get more people to explain to you about Minecraft, or Cenat to explain to you about Minecraft. And it's like, why are you paying attention to a stream that's predominantly made for children? Once again, after being caught in the monkey app, where the snow girl, whatever her name was, she basically is telling the little girls or, little children on basically monkey to disclose themselves, right? This is basically the person that he decides to gift a lot and bless on their streams and follow them on Instagram. So after he does that, now to instead of clearing his name and staying away from all streamers, after that guy came out, now he wants to go and connect himself with Cenat and talk about, explain to me what Minecraft means, or give me some explanation. Like, basically want him to explain, why do you need to learn about Minecraft? You're 37 years old. You do not need to learn Minecraft. If you don't know it by now, then you will never learn it or need to know it. Because who are you teaching this to? Right? And he's gonna have so many excuses like, oh, my kid watches it. No, I highly doubt it. The problem with all of this is that the optics. This goes all the way to the first topic when we're talking about the UMG deal. You're not making Lucien Grange any money by doing these type of tactics. You have to move way smarter if you have this much fire on your back and you have to make $500 million or $1 billion worth of content, music success, because they signed you thinking that you were going to continue to hotline bling and continue to make Marvin's Room, but you haven't. You know what I'm saying? So this is type of the situation that's going on. And then to make your fan base work harder now, because now they have to defend you talking to Cenat about Minecraft. They, like, to me, Drake fans, y'all are owed a stimulus check from Drake because y'all are holding his career in y'all hands because of how much defending y'all have to do. It was already crazy that y'all had to make up a defense for the Monkey app. I don't know how y'all defended it, but people like DJ Academics was like, oh, it's not real, and oh, it's not real, or whatever. Oh, I don't believe that. Like, he just threw it under the rug. He didn't even react to the fact that, oh, that dude is talking to this type of person who is streaming about this type of topics with these type of situations. He's not thinking about none of that. He's like, oh, that's not my goat. My goat is not talking to, my goat not talking to teens. It's like, you can obviously tell that you're compromised. If you're not speaking from the truth or the spirit or the love of the game, why are you playing the game? You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what Tyler, the Creator, said in the second topic. This is what I'm telling y'all. Everything goes together, friend or foe. Because why are you in the game if your passion is not in the game and you're compromised? So now people is paying you to lie, Academics. You clearly see that Drake is doing a whole bunch of weird stuff and you're not addressing him. One thing I learned in life is that you never let things just flow by. You address the situation, especially if you have friends or something like that. If you want them to be better, you just don't let the bug over their head just stand over their head. No, you tell them, hey, there's something over your head. I need you to whack that off, man. I want to make sure you straight. Or if you're not doing that right, hey, I feel like, you're not doing that wrong. I just want to give you my 2 cents, but hey, take it how you want it, but I just want to let you know how I feel. If you can't accept me telling you how I feel, then you're not really my friend. So that's why I feel like Academics is compromised, because the people who has to surround themselves around Drake, they have to love him a lot. People like KD and, you know what I'm saying, like Lil Yachty at one point. You see that Lil Yachty has been unfollowed Drake and got left off of Super Soak because he interviewed Joe Budden. I try to tell y'all, my prediction's been on point. He interviewed Joe Budden and I knew, hey, he should have never did that. That's one of Drake ops. Do you see the way Joe talk about Drake? It's not that Joe hate Drake. It's that Joe really be hitting everything on the money with Drake without seeming compromised by Drake. And Drake don't like that because Drake needs to be lusted over and made sure that you're doing a good job, Drake. Yeah, keep going, Drake. You're doing such a good job. Oh yeah, you're the GOAT, Drake. You can't tell him, hey, Drake, your shoes untied, bro. Hey, Drake, I'm gonna need you to sing that line a little better, bro. You can't tell him none of that stuff. Because then he becomes petty. Then he becomes disloyal. Then he becomes, oh, I can't trust you. I can't do anything with you. Right? So that's the type of situation we got going on in that situation, right? So now when you take it on to the next topic on what all of this, friend or foe, you got Nicki Minaj calling Drake and Party Next Door ugly boys?
They so desperate. If a mother tell them to go and catch a wild tuna, skin it and eat it, they would do it. You understand what I'm saying? They would teach themselves that very day how to hunt, fish, swim, kill, eat, cook, every mother thing. You see, because they want it so bad they can taste it. And when you taste it, you want it again. But honey child, they ain't finna taste no more.
Yeah, so Drake did a yo, Nicki is fucking petty, bro. Yo, I can't believe that Nicki really treats the music industry like it's high school. Yo, people are making money, man. Like, people are making millions of dollars. You're making millions of dollars. People are going to collab with who you want, with who they want. None of the beef that y'all have is that serious, because otherwise you'll be pulling up on these bitches and you'll be handling it. So now Drake not supposed to work with nobody you don't like? What type of shit is this? It's like some high school shit. Now, I could imagine if it's a record where Latto's dissing you, of course Drake shouldn't be on a record like that. I agree, right? Like, that's just like loyalty. But again, y'all been subliminally beefing. It's not even like y'all are rap battling at the moment, right? Like, Drake and Kendrick was rap battling. So, like, you know, if Wayne did a song with Kendrick at that time, it'd be like fucking weird. But y'all haven't ever rap battled. Y'all only have had like these subliminal wars or have said a few words to each other, kind of. Why the hell would Drake? And by the way, come on, this is another thing too. Man, y'all know who Latto locked in with? Come on. Let me say it without saying. Like, y'all know who Latto locked in with. What? Come on, bro. Like, yo, Nicki gotta knock it off, man. This is the thing about Nicki that makes her look so unsuccessful. And I love when she gloats about her wins. And I've been giving her high praises. Nicki has been dominating the field. I don't even think it's close with her and any of the women right now, right? But it's one, like, she comes across bitter, even during victory. Like, that's not even enough. It's like imagine winning like imagine coming first in the Olympics and you talking about the people who came last or the people who came fourth and fifth. Oh, child, they thought they could run against the queen. But look where they at. They in fourth. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, when you're like the Don Dada, the top person, the queen, why is the queen beefing with the peasants? Why is the queen beefing with the princess? This shit is kind of odd to me, man. But also, it would shock me if... Actually, it wouldn't shock me at all. It wouldn't shock me at all. If Nicki was sneak dissing Drake, it wouldn't shock me at all. I think Nicki's that petty. And I don't think she's, like, beefing with Drake. I just think she probably looks at it and be like, ew, that's an ugly move. Y'all fucking with that chick? That's ugly. I don't think she's, like, going at Drake really, but...
Now, obviously, you know, Nicki Minaj likes to play different characters and play with different accents because I honestly feel like she's stuck in a forever role of just doing that. But when you guys understand the fact that you have to have this insane amount of loyalty for Drake, like I said in the previous topics, you have to have this insane amount of loyalty, insane amount of like lust over him for him to trust you, right? But guess what's crazy? He won't do that to you. He won't owe you the same trust, the same loyalty, the same respect he expects you to give to him. That's why he's a snake and he should not be trusted. Because you understand that Nicki Minaj is someone who always try to protect Drake, even when they didn't like each other. She never tried to make music with his ops or never tries to talk bad on his name, stuff like that to the public eye. But you already know that Nicki Minaj and Latto has a crazy beef situation. They don't like each other, or it seems like Nicki really don't like Latto, right? So you guys understand the fact that Drake sat there and made a featured song with Latto. And it didn't do good at all. But hey, Nicki Minaj is gonna be tight. Like, hey, why are you making a song with this guy? I just had you on the Pink Friday too. You supposed to be on probably one of my tour updates. Nah, that's wild. So now you know the trigger points, I believe, and I heard from sources, the trigger point for Drake is calling him ugly boy. Because that's where his insecurities and his nose jobs and the lip injections, all of the stuff where it comes from is because of all of the ridicule that he used to have early on in the game where he felt like, oh, I was that guy. But then once you met people like Rihanna and Nicki Minaj and they call you ugly, you know what I'm saying? It's going to sting a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So That's what I'm saying. And then when you got Party Next Door, who is obviously a part of the Drake logo or the Drake brand, same thing. So Nicki Minaj and Drake, to me, has always been feuding here and there, but I feel like this might be the last straw for Nicki, because I feel like Drake already disrespected Lil Wayne. And you know anything about Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj relationship, it's always been like a close relationship. They've always been tied hand by hand, and Nicki Minaj always talks like a lot of praise about Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne always praises Nicki Minaj, and I feel like they've never came across to where they never even beefed at all, ever. I don't never hear no stories about them. But we know that Drake messed with Lil Wayne girl. We know that Drake didn't talk to Lil Wayne in the July 4th all-white party while Lil Wayne was performing. And Drake apparently had 20 OVO gangsters, right? So you got all this situation. And now Nicki Minaj is expecting some type of loyalty from Drake. She probably was just chilling. She wasn't even thinking about Drake. And then next thing you know, she has to look on her phone and see, oh, she got a feature with my friend, or not even my friend, the person I'm signed with or originally signed with, my co-partner, YMB. Nah, that's crazy. So she got on her stream and she basically do what she always do, express herself in her own way. And that's just basically when it comes to that friend or foe situation where you're like, yo, there's a lot of disloyalty in the game. There's a lot of distrust in the game in terms of the industry. Who do you trust? Who do you look to have your back? You can't. You have to be almost solo dolo. That's why I move the way I move. I'm a very solo dolo type of person. Because it's not, I can understand if I fumble the ball, but I can't dare to see somebody fumble the ball on my team. I'm like, no, bro, you can't fumble the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I need to make sure I win. If I lose, that's on me. You know what I'm saying? But because it's like people like Drake, you run into a lot of these people in your lifetime, but you really don't realize it until you really learn more about who Drake is as a person. And the only reason why I know so much about him as a person is because you hear a lot of the people that's his friend or his ex-friends, journalists, or you hear certain his music. You can tell a lot about a certain personality through people listening to people's music. You know what I'm saying? People try to pretend like, oh no, it's just artistic. Yeah, it's artistic creation from the person himself. His spirit was saying these lines, whether he wrote it or not. He believed it. So if he wrote, hey, I'm trying to get a Billy when I'm 60 or around that age or 70, right? Then look at his deals. He's trying to get that. So when you got people like Nicki Minaj, like you're trying to scorn her and make her, she's already dealing with a lot of stuff in the industry. She's already damn near blackballed in the industry. They're trying to recopy her over and over and over again and tell her that, oh no, they're not copying her. So you going with one of her replacement copies that's so obvious that they're trying to replace her and making a song with her is just disrespectful, 100% disrespectful. But let's go away from that topic and let's go to the person who bodied Drake, Kendrick Lamar. But not just Kendrick Lamar, I want to talk about Big Sean. Now, Big Sean dropped a song called Yes. Now, when I heard the song Yes,
when they tried to tell me no, I said no, mother. Yes. You mean my life real GTA, and I need a payment in ETH. Right now the mother ETA, and I've been a champ, nigga, year after year after year. Yeah, I'm going 3P wave. I ain't dropping no dime, you boys cheapskates, and I'm sticking to the course, no PGA. Hoes plotting on me, that's so cliche. 5-star sweet, 5-star general, yeah, bitch, and I'm going with AWOL. To see more.
that song was very, very catchy, but it showed me why it was pretty catchy. If you listen to it and you really tune in, you hear two people. You hear Baby Keem and you hear Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, bro, how did he do that? It low-key sounded mad fire because it's like we just finished hearing Kendrick Lamar for months destroy Drake. And now it's like this flow. It reminded me of Finally Famous, you know, because it's kind of like a Big Sean flow too at the same time. But at the same time, it's like the octave or the way that he did it with like the speed of the rapping. It just gave you that energy of Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar, and I feel like it was actually pretty fire. And in the video, he's also playing chess. So if you look at the interview with him and Charlemagne, this is basically what he said, how he felt about Kendrick Lamar and how the whole quote-unquote fake beef or not beef really started.
So then Nipsey dies. Joe Budden had created this, like, before that, Joe Budden had made this, like, there's a Kendrick Big Sean beef, and to the point where I tried to ignore it, but he made that narrative so fucking real that I think it really did become a thing. So like,
He wasn't all the way wrong though. You said there might have been something in the air.
Well, yeah, because I'm getting to the point where me and Kendrick talk.
Okay.
So I get to the point where I'm like, damn, do we got something going on? That's why I had something prepared, right? And then when I run into Dave Free, and he's like, nah, bro, it ain't nothing. Like, it's all love. He said something like that wasn't directly towards you. It was for anyone, you know? Okay. So then Nipsey dies. And I sit on the plane next to Punch. Random as hell. We're headed to J. Cole's festival. And he's like, you ever talk to Kendrick? And I'm like, no, I never. I know it ain't shit there. But no, we never really spoke. Then around that time, like that day, or maybe the day before that, or the week, or day within that same time period, that leaked shit happened. It was a leaked verse. And it said what you said.
Yep.
I'm like, damn, nigga, y'all motherfuckers said it wasn't shit and it was something. So you got me looking crazy.
But maybe he prepared something just like the same way you was thinking. He was like, let me get my nukes just in case too.
Right, but the thing is, that song came out and he changed that bar, right? So that wasn't on the song anymore. It was a leaked verse. So I had to keep that in mind because I was pissed when I heard it. So then I'm like, okay, he changed that on his own. So he probably came to the conclusion that it was nothing. So then then me and him talk. And I got the text on my phone. And he's like, I might pull the text out and read it.
Let's hear it. Why not?
Oh, I ain't even got somebody else got my phone.
Somebody grab Sean's phone.
I essentially.
No need to misquote him.
Yeah, I ain't trying to misquote shit. Because I don't give a fuck that much to misquote a nigga.
And how long ago was this? You said right after Nip died?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can read my stuff, too.
You want me to read it?
No.
Okay,
I don't think we should read it because I think that's kind of like bitch made, but I want you to kind of like see the sentiment of it. Hold on. So this is me, and then this is him. What up, champ? Yes, we're in great grievance.
That's real.
Wrongly. So, in a sense, I don't want to say it. He apologized, in a sense, for going that far, and for that shit coming out, right? Yeah. So I wanted to show you that because, in a sense, he apologized, right?
Yeah.
So if Kendrick apologized for that same leak that I heard prematurely, right, that he didn't use, it's like, then it leaks fully later, right, and people hear it, and we already discussed it. And he said, appreciate the shout out on the Nipsey song. I already addressed it on the song with Nip. Lack of communication and wrong information for people fueled by the ego was like mixing flames with diesel.
That's what he said to you in the...
No, that's what I said on the song with Nipsey.
Oh, I know, but in the text it sounded like he's kind of said the same thing.
Yeah, that's why I said it in the song. Because in that text he said, yo, my ego, da-da-da. So it's like, when that shit leaks, it's like, people are like, oh, you heard what he said about you? I'm like, nigga, I'm not a clout chasing ass nigga, bro. I'm solid and I stand on mine, and I'm not about to do something because everyone thinks a certain thing. Like, we already talked about it. I already got an apology for it.
And your shirt right now says, I do not care about their opinions.
Yes.
So why would you care about the opinions of other people if you know what it is between you and Dot?
Exactly. And that's what it's been. I ain't really had too much communication with him since then. And, but I just want to I represent a lot of people from my city, from where I come from, fans of mine who think I didn't stand on my shit. And that's not the case. And that's what I want to clarify. I wasn't being a bitch nigga or like tucking my tail or nothing like that. And if it was real smoke, if it was really something to stand on, I would be full front. I would be there front and center for it. And I would be prepared. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. And people want to make something that is not. So that's something that I never really got a chance to clarify.
Now, if you look at the fact that he talked about Kendrick Lamar apologizing, he made it very clear to Charlamagne that, hey, this dude apologized. Now, I feel like he really doubled down on that because of the fact that J. Cole apologized, and he wanted to prove that, hey, Kendrick Lamar is scared of me. And I feel like maybe that's true, but I don't really think that's 100% true, because I do feel like if Kendrick wanted it with Big Sean, that would be a great battle. Don't get it twisted. But I feel like he's not scared of him enough to where he has to apologize. This probably was just a miss, it was a miss. But the only thing that he probably has a great point on is the fact that he took the verse away. He took the verse, the leaked verse, and rechanged it and changed it to another verse, letting people know that it's not beef. But then now it looks like Big Sean is trying to poke the bear. And once you poke the bear, you're gonna get, something gonna happen. And I would honestly, that would be much more of a fair battle than Kendrick and Drake. And I know some people like, what are you talking about? Big Sean is not no better lyricist than Drake. Honestly, I feel like Big Sean is a better lyricist than Drake. If you're looking at what he's writing on the paper, if you put him and Drake in the same room, in 30 minutes, one of them have to come out with a better written bars. Big Sean bars is like low-key nice. It's low-key really, really nice and low-key underrated. So it's like, all right, you have these type of bars. Now I want to hear that versus Kendrick Lamar because he has a respectable pen, Big Sean. Right? Just like I feel like J. Cole have a respectable pen, but J. Cole backed down because that wasn't his fight. Big Sean looked like in the Charlamagne interview, he want all the smoke, but he just wanted to know if it's really smoke. And then he also said he was already prepared, and he prepared. And if you hear the song, yes, the new song, it sounds like, oh, this is like some dude that's prepared. And in the video, he's playing chess. It's meaning that he's trying to be like, yo, I'm playing chess, not checkers. I'm 10 steps ahead. Like if you want to try to diss me, I'm gonna take it there. To me, and I feel like that's a good beef if that beef was to happen to Brew, and it's just all artistic. He tried to blame it on Joe Budden, and Joe Budden probably had something to do with it. But artistically, we know you know why he probably said that? Because that's probably the better battle. Lyrically, I want to hear Kendrick Lamar versus Big Sean. Big Sean is saying, look, he apologized to me. What type of put some respect on my name? If he the boogeyman apologized to me, then we can get it. Then what does that mean about me? I'm the big three then. So now if J. Cole backs down, and now we have to reorder the big three, even though he's still technically in the big three. But we're just gonna say, just for the sake of public opinion and just for the sake of arguing, we're gonna say that Big Sean was originally supposed to be in the big three or the big four. It was J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, and Big Sean. Those, and then Wale. It was like those were supposed to be like the big top 5 rappers of our generation. It was like a certain era in time they all came out 1v1v1, and it was like perfect timing. All of them came out. So Big Sean feels left out. Like, hey, bro, y'all try to forget about me? I'm with Jen Aiko. I'm with a baddie. So like, all right, boom, I'm gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? After, spending some time away, doing what I gotta do, getting dissed by Kanye, doing a whole bunch of stuff, right? And he comes back with this type of song. Now, this is respectable because the song is actually good. Now, depending on whether the people like it or not, that's a different subject. But honestly, I think it's a good song, and it also reminds me of Baby Keem and Kendrick. Now, if this is technically like a diss song, or like not a diss song, but a jab, like, hey, I'm playing chess. If you ready for war, I'm ready to go there. If you're not ready for war, I'm not gonna go there. But if you ready, I got like a whole loaded clip. If Kendrick Lamar really wants to make the rapping more entertaining, I would take that beef. Even if it's not really I hate you beef, I would take it for the artistic battle. Just because I defeated Drake, let me go try to defeat Big Sean. That'd be a nice little 1-2 punch and really show the world that I'm really, really the greatest. Like really the greatest undisputably, right? And that's just my opinion. As someone who's like, I like rap beefs in terms of just when it comes to music, not in terms of street stuff or gang stuff, because nowadays they turn it all into street and gang stuff, which is really it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be about lyrics, music, rap, everything, right? And if you got some dirt on the dude, throw the dirt out, like basically what he did with Drake with the whole pedal situation. Now you got every single thing is like lining up perfect to make sure that line is perfect. It's the perfect truth because he keeps proving it right every day. Minecraft, you got Monkey App, you got Kissing on a 17-year-old, you got Millie Bobby Brown. It's like everything. So when you, I want to hear what he has to say about Big Sean. There's not a lot of negative things you can really say about Big Sean, other than the fact that Kanye really don't like him and he signed him. In fact, there's a lot of things you say about Big Sean because of that itself, right? So I feel like it would be a good beef. I feel like it'll be good lyricism. Let me know what y'all think, because honestly, if we get that, I feel like it'll feed us a lot more. Like maybe not more than Drake and Kendrick, but it'll give us a good entertainment in terms of true lyricism and true rap music back and forth, right? So that's basically all I have on basically the Big Sean, Kendrick Lamar. Will that situation happen? But just to go and end it off of, something that's just like some deep stuff, right? In terms of NBA YoungBoy is basically facing up to 10 years in prison, maybe more. He pleaded to, I believe, a gun charge that was in like 2022 after like a music video. And then he had to move his case into Utah to where he basically had to plead guilty to basically the charge of the gun and then move his case to Utah where it's a different charge where he's basically a ring of like pharmaceutical drugs and all this stuff like that. So I think it's like 64 cases or something. They said something crazy, a crazy amount. And it kind of lets me, the only reason why I said it was sad because it's like seeing a dude to where if you hear his music and if you hear the way he acts when he was on house arrest, you could tell he was screaming for help. And I mean, absolutely screaming for help. But it was like his fan base, they just look at him like he's like a toy. Like he's like, oh, hey, YB does this, YB free, YB this. Like they just love to just meme him out. But the dude is like, yo, I need help. I'm on these pills. I want to get off, but I can't. Life is depressing. He looks like he looks happier in prison than he did on house arrest. Because maybe he's getting way more attention, way more socialization. He probably feels more free in there than he does in prison. And that's why I feel like he's trying to stay in prison. If you look at the way that he was in his prison photo, he didn't look like how Young Thug looked, which is Young Thug looks like, man, this is a lot. But YoungBoy looks like, look, anything is better than that house arrest and me drowning myself out on pills and painting my nails and doing all this weird stuff, arguing with people, cursing people out on social media. And it's like we see another situation where it's another artist that goes to prison, and luckily he didn't die because it's either they go to prison or die, right? And they always asking for help. When you got Juice WRLD, rest in peace, Juice WRLD was basically asking for help in his music too. It's an addiction. It's an addiction to pills that make you feel a certain type of way because life has become numb due to so many losses. NBA YoungBoy has lost a lot of people around him in his entire life. He's just full of chaos and negativity. Now, whether he's guilty or not is a different situation. I'm just talking about humanly. The dude is broken. Like if you looked at him before, I'm probably not as broken now because honestly, sometimes some people, they benefit off of prison. And I feel like he's one of them. Mentally, he might be in a better space. But at the time where he was in house arrest, everybody was like, oh, he keeps dropping the same songs and all this stuff like that. Oh, Grave Digger Mountain. Like y'all kept making him a meme and making him more funny rather than, yo, we should check out on him and make sure that he good. And like, yo, do you want to keep making these songs? No, but they're probably forcing you to make those songs. They keep forcing you to make these negative songs. And he's probably someone who, yes, he has a lot of money. So I do believe that money is probably helping him in prison as well, making sure that he's well accommodated and stuff like that. But in terms of his mental freedom, I feel like even though he's in prison, he's more free, right? People like Tory Lanez, I feel like maybe he's also doing something that's more positive as well because he's saying that, oh, he's going to school, he got his GED and stuff like that. He's trying to get better, right? The only person that I feel like prison isn't doing well for them is really Young Thug. I feel like Young Thug's situation is getting more and more out of hand. I feel like changing judges and doing all this stuff, I feel like changing the judge was the best thing, but I feel like trying to get him free in the next 2 years is now become a lot more of a stretch. You know what I'm saying? Because things are being pushed back and you can kind of see it on his face and you got this dude stitching on him, Woody or whatever his name is. So much stuff in terms of these artists in prison, right? Is either they die or they go to prison. And when they go to prison, their whole entire life has been promoted or marketed of them being in prison. So NBA YoungBoy, man, I hope you get the help that you need because in this type of world, in this type of society, they don't want to see you free unless you really did something crazy or that's really your personality is to be free. But when it comes to creating something that's so consumable and people kind of like take it in and it is negative, so they're taking it in negatively, they kind of want you to remain negative because your music is negative, but it's negative because you're crying out for help. But they don't see it like that, y'all. So let me know what y'all think in the comments below because, that's basically all I got for y'all. When I'm talking about friend or foe, is it either the system Or are you basically going to get saved by yourself? Are you going to get saved, or are you going to allow the system to use you? I don't know. Are you going to trust your friends? Or are you going to trust the people around you? Or are you going to trust yourself? I don't know. Should you be more solo dolo? Maybe, or maybe not. Some people are very well within the crowd and work well in the group. But hey, be cautious of who you have around, because they could either be your friend or your foe. Like how Drake treats Nicki Minaj. But let me know how you feel. It's me and boy Alphamediaroom. Peace.